Good morning. The ceremony will begin shortly. Please take a moment to silence all electronic devices. As a gentle reminder, all personnel participating in the ceremony should exercise caution to ensure that wings will not be pinned in an aggressive manner that would cause any injury to the soldiers. All pinning ceremonies must be conducted with the utmost respect for the dignity and physical well-being of the graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 210th Aviation Regiment, Captain Kelsey M. Wallabin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to graduation. I'm Captain Kelsey Wallabin, and I'm the commander of the Chinook Maintenance Course Company. It's an honor to speak to all of you this morning. First, I'd like to congratulate our students for their hard work and determination over the last few months. They've all proven they possess the skills necessary to properly maintain the Army's helicopter fleet and are prepared to enter our fighting force. I know the work has been challenging, but it does not get easier from here. It does, however, get more fun and more rewarding, so you all have much to look forward to. Families and friends, thank you for entrusting us with your loved ones and for allowing them to join the Army in such challenging times. I know the decision could not have been easy. You should be extremely proud of the fine work that these soldiers have done over the last few months, and I hope you all enjoy the momentous occasion today marks. In just a moment, the graduates will come up on stage row by row to receive their graduation certificates. Following receipt of their certificates, the graduates will line up in front of the stage for the pinning of their wings. At that time, you're welcome to come forward for photos of the pinning. I invite you to move around as much as you'd like to get your pictures. Finally, I would like to call the distinguished honor graduates, Private First Class Soren Oliver and Sergeant Eduardo Dominguez, up to the front to receive a brigade coin on behalf of Colonel Morshed, our brigade commander. Private First Class Oliver and Sergeant Dominguez had the highest GPAs in their class and no negative counselings. They also excelled in all facets of military performance during their time in advanced training. Please give them a round of applause.
At this time, we'd like to recognize all veterans in attendance and watching online. Thank you for your selfless service and the sacrifice in the defense of our nation. Distinguished guests, family members, and friends, on behalf of the 128th Aviation Brigade Command Team, welcome to today's graduation class for CH-47 Helicopter Repair Class 004. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation given by Chaplain Coltrane and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
I invite you to pray with me. Let us pray. Holy God, this morning as we welcome this new group of soldiers into the aviation family, we give thanks for all the ways that this journey has challenged them and changed them. We are grateful for the hard work they have done and the people who have supported them along the way. Even as we pause for a moment to celebrate this graduation, we are preparing for the incredible journey above the best. May you guide each soldier here and give them wisdom, humility, and courage. We ask that you bless our nation and grant us peace. Amen. You may be seated.
Army aviation maintenance training began at Fort Eustis, Virginia in 1954. Since its beginning, Fort Eustis has continued a legacy of maintenance training excellence, training active duty, National Guard, and Army Reserve soldiers, along with Air Force personnel that date back to Operation Just Cause in Panama. The Army redesignated the United States Army Aviation Logistics School as the 128th Aviation Brigade on February 1st, 2012. Today, the 128th Aviation Brigade trains over 5,500 soldiers annually in every Army aviation helicopter specialty. A 15-uniform cargo helicopter repairer is primarily responsible for the overall maintenance of the CH-47 Chinook helicopter. They perform tasks such as removal and installation of aircraft subsystem assemblies. These include engines, rotors, gearboxes, and transmissions, as well as mechanical flight controls. They also perform services, inspections, repairs, maintenance checks, and troubleshoot faults for all aircraft components. The guest speaker for today's ceremony is Staff Sergeant Grant Welsh. Staff Sergeant Welsh enlisted in the United States Army in 2014 as a 15-uniform Chinook helicopter repairman and is currently serving as an Alpha Company instructor. Please refer to Staff Sergeant Welsh's biography in your program to learn more about their selfless service to our nation. Please join us in giving a warm welcome to Staff Sergeant Grant Welsh.
Good morning. Distinguished guests, family members, and friends. Your support and dedication to these soldiers has greatly impacted their success through these trying times. I would like to thank Class 04 for asking me to speak today. I was sure they had enough of me talking for the last 5 months, but I guess not. Congratulations. You've successfully completed the 15-uniform 47 Fox repair course and are off to start your journeys as the newest members of the Army Aviation family. It's hard to believe that you're the same group of soldiers that came to the schoolhouse for the first time 17 weeks ago. 17 weeks. That's all it took to turn you into certified Army aviation mechanics. Mechanics on the best helicopter in the Army. While we can teach you the basics of aviation maintenance, you will have to learn the harder life lessons on your own, such as when to say yes and how to say no when the time is right. How to approach your peers, leaders, and eventually subordinates with issues and corrections, even when it's hard. And how to handle relationships with others when you don't just quite get along. While you're not capable of fixing the Chinook to the standard, your learning does not stop here. In fact, it is only the beginning. As you embark on your journeys, either with your first duty station or back home at your guard unit, think about how much you've learned in the last 17 weeks. Now think about how much more you can learn in the next 17 weeks, and then 17 months. And then finally, in 17 years, when you're approaching the end of your military careers, think about how much you could learn if you keep the same attitudes that you've had throughout the course. It's scary to think about how much knowledge and skills you can acquire if you just keep learning the way you've been learning. But even then, just when you think you've learned all there is to know, as leaders and NCOs yourselves, your new soldiers will surprise you by showing you just how much there is left to learn. Just like how you've all taught me and the other instructors while you were here. Do yourselves a favor and never be afraid to learn from those who you are teaching. We all have so much left to learn, from the newest private to the sergeant major of the Army. The best thing to do is to stay humble and be willing to learn from those who are willing to teach. The last bit of advice I will leave you is that it goes by fast. So make the most of the time you have, because it will all be nothing more than memories before you know it. Above the best, born under fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that we will now present diplomas to the graduates. Please feel free to move around and take photos throughout the presentation. The distinguished graduate is that soldier who received the highest marks throughout the course. These graduates are selected on academic standing, leadership, physical fitness, and discipline. The distinguished graduate will receive a certificate of achievement from the 128th Aviation Brigade and a brigade coin. The distinguished graduate for 15 uniform Chinook helicopter repair class 004 is Private First Class Soren Oliver. Private First Class Soren Oliver is from Hesperia, California, and will be assigned to the 10th Combat Aviation Brigade, Fort Drum, New York. The honor graduate is that soldier who is the second highest graduate of their class. They will receive a certificate of achievement from the 128th Aviation Brigade. The honor graduate for 15 uniform Chinook helicopter repair class 004 is Private First Class Brandon Andrews. Private First Class Brandon Andrews is from Pensacola, Florida, and will be assigned to the 2nd Combat Aviation Brigade, Camp Humphreys, South Korea. Sergeant Eduardo Dominguez. Sergeant Eduardo Dominguez is from Killeen, Texas, and will be assigned to the 1st Armored Division Combat Aviation Brigade, Fort Bliss, Texas. Sergeant Jose Figueroa. Sergeant Jose Figueroa is from Naranjito, Puerto Rico, and will be assigned to the 101st Combat Aviation Brigade, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Specialist Jose Alvarado. Specialist Jose Alvarado is from Rupert, Idaho, and will be assigned to the 2nd Combat Aviation Brigade, Camp Humphreys, South Korea. Specialist Samuel Meyer. Specialist Samuel Meyer is from Gainesville, Florida, and will be assigned to the 111th Aviation Regiment, Florida, National Guard. Family members and guests selected for pinning, please come forward now to honor our graduates as they prepare to take their next step in their Army aviation careers. Please be seated. Specialist Brian Ornelas. Specialist Brian Ornelas is from Pomona, California, and will be assigned to the 3rd Combat Aviation Brigade, Hunter Army Airfield, Georgia. Private First Class Ava Plyler. Private First Class Ava Plyler is from Oswego, New York, and will be assigned to the 101st Combat Aviation Brigade, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Private First Class Juan Rosales. Private First Class Juan Rosales from Lehigh Acres, Florida, and will be assigned to the 101st Combat Aviation Brigade, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Private Jonathan Barnett. Private Jonathan Barnett is from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and will be assigned to the 2nd Combat Aviation Brigade, Camp Humphreys, South Korea. Private Kyle Barsema. Private Kyle Barsema is from Diamond Head, Mississippi, and will be assigned to the 2nd Combat Aviation Brigade, Camp Humphreys, South Korea. Family members and guests selected for pinning, please come forward now to honor our graduates as they prepare to take their next step in their Army aviation careers. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the newest members of the Army Aviation family. We now turn to a special part of the ceremony. The distinguished graduate will present a token of appreciation to Staff Sergeant Grant Welsh. This symbolizes our sincere gratitude for their presence and the wisdom they have imparted. Their words today have not only enlightened us, but have also added a meaningful dimension to this important milestone in our graduates' journey. The team of non-commissioned officers and civilian instructors who trained and mentored the graduates are assigned to the 1st Battalion, 222nd Aviation Regiment, and 2nd Battalion, 210th Aviation Regiment. Together, this outstanding team instructed your soldiers in discipline, physical fitness, warrior tasks and battle drills, and fundamental aviation maintenance practices. They led and mentored America's sons and daughters so that one day they too may become a non-commissioned officer. The drill sergeant and instructor for today's graduating class are Drill Sergeant Nicholas McKinnon and Staff Sergeant Grant Welsh. Please join us in giving a warm applause to their service. Please rise for the playing of the Aviation song and the Army song. We ask that all soldiers in uniform remain standing and join us in reciting the Aviation Mechanics Creed and the Soldier's Creed. Family and friends, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's graduation ceremony. Please come forward to congratulate your soldiers and take photographs. Thank you for attending. Above the best, born under fire.